Hello and welcome to another episode of MTG CubeTube. My name is Sjoerd and I think Cube is the best Magic the Gathering format. This episode I will talk about combos in Cube and answer the following 3 questions. Should you have combos in your cube? Which combos are good to include? And how do you make combos work in a cube context? There are roughly 2 types of combos in Magic. Combos that are instant wins when assembled, and combos that are just combinations of cards where the whole is bigger than just the sum of its parts. Let's call these synergy combos. The instant win combos are easy to recognize. They almost always end the game when assembled, either by running the opponent out of cards, by taking all the turns for the rest of the game, or by doing a game-winning amount of damage. Gaining infinite life or making an infinitely large creature could also fall in this category. The term synergy combo is a bit more vague because there's no clear line between cards working nicely together, also known as having synergy, and cards that actually form a synergistic combination. The line between synergy combos and I win combos is also not always super clear. Take for example the Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek combo. The combination of these 2 cards lets you make a Thopter and gain a life for every 1 mana you spend. And though this is not an I win combo per se, for some opponents and in some situations it might as well be. So the first question to answer is, should you have combos in your cube? And the only deciding factor for that should be whether or not your playgroup will enjoy them. If you think they will, then you definitely should. Players just don't always get the chance to do really cool or busted stuff in regular Magic like Boosted Draft or Standard, and Cube is a great way to allow players to do something broken once in a while. Combos can make for really good stories and can give the player assembling them, which in Cube isn't very easy, a great sense of achievement. Having combos also prevents a rock, paper, scissors metagame of aggro mid-range control. They add a strategic layer to the gameplay and they make the drafting process more interesting. But again, if your playgroup is averse to or not suitable for having combos, you should definitely steer clear of them. What plays a role in this is the experience level of your players. Less experienced players will be less likely to recognize combos during the draft and may also have a more negative reaction to losing to one. If a mixed experience group drafts a combo heavy cube, it's easy to imagine a situation where the more experienced players will recognize and go for the combos, and the less experienced players will pass up on them and also fail to draft cards that can help protect themselves against them. This can lead to very unsatisfactory games of Magic. Of course, this is not always the case if the less experienced players at the table are actually very eager to learn this sort of thing and will next time either try to harness the power of combos themselves or try to protect themselves against them, then that's a different story. Skill level, not always related to experience, also plays a role. Some combos are fairly complex either to play or to play around, and it feels very bad for a player to lose to a combo thinking that they might have been able to prevent that from happening, but they just didn't really understand what was going on, and, well, now they're dead. Players that are both experienced and skilled can still be averse to combos though. Some people just want to play only fair Magic, some synergy, sure, but as soon as a combination has a whiff of brokenness, they're out. This type of players will definitely not enjoy I win combos, but may be okay with some synergy combos. So if your cube group doesn't always have the same mix of people, you can easily change the amount of combos you have based on who is joining the session. It is really not that hard to make room for more combos, add some answers to them, or to take them out again, depending on the occasion. So let's assume that your playgroup might enjoy some hot combo action. You then need to decide which combos you want to add. The most important criteria should be how much fun a combo brings, and though that is very personal, here's a list of 7 possible fun level indicators. Number 1, variety of play. Combos that can play out in different ways are simply more interesting for both sides of the table. A great example of this is the combination of Survival of the Fittest and Recurring Nightmare, where the path to victory depends greatly on the current board state and the cards in your deck. Then interactivity. Some combos allow for more counterplay than others. Combos that rely on creatures are usually the easiest to break up. but once they are instant win combos, the window for that becomes very small. Instant win combos that don't need creatures at all are often the hardest to interact with. Novelty. Some combos are very well known and that can make them less interesting. Others are more obscure and the novelty of the combo might make it more fun for a while. The Blood Bonds combo, for example, is one that most players will have to read the first time they see it, and that can be enough to make it fun for the first few times it happens. Just remember that the novelty can wear off. Number 4, Fame. A combo being well known can also be a positive. Many players might know the combo of Vampire Hexmage and Dark Depths without ever having had the opportunity to play it. And Cube is a great format to allow players to assemble a famous combo like that for the first time. Nostalgia. Some players have fond memories of times when life was easier, music was better, the internet didn't exist yet, and Channel Fireball was a combo and not a website. The only reason I have the combination of Tradewind Rider and untap effects in my cube is because I have fond memories of Tradewind Rider and Quirion Ranger from when I just started playing Tournament Magic. Nostalgia is a powerful motivator. Bustedness, for lack of a better word. Some combos feel more powerful than others, and for players that embrace their inner Timmy, cheating an Emrakul into play just feels more awesome than making an infinite number of Felidar Guardians. Combos that go big can be very exciting for players and onlookers alike. And lastly, convolutedness. Some combos are tricky to assemble, need a lot of different pieces, and require tight play from the player executing them. An example of this is the Storm combo package in the Magic Online Vintage Cube. Some players love to play this type of combo deck, but for the opponent waiting for them to finish, it's often boring as hell. For online Magic that's maybe okay, but for Kitchen Table Cube that sort of thing is actually pretty bad. 2 other factors to keep in mind when deciding which combos are good to add to a cube are the playability of the individual combo pieces and the possibility for redundant pieces and packages. Some combo cards are just terrible on their own. Take for example Phyrexian Unlife and Solemnity. This combination makes it so that you can't be killed through damage, but the individual cards are very bad. This makes them risky picks, because if you use a draft pick on a terrible card that needs another card to do anything, then that pick is wasted if you don't get the rest of the combo. On the other hand, it does make it easier for these combo pieces to not get picked by anyone else. Cubes often have more than plenty of playables, so having a few duds that are only good if a combo comes together isn't so bad. Just make sure not to overload the cube with bad combo pieces. There are combo pieces that are also excellent cards outside of the combo. These are very risk-free to pick early. You can just take Gifts Ungiven as a good card, and if you're lucky, get the Unburial Rites for the combo. It's nice to have cards like that because they can also be used by non-combo decks. Personally, I prefer it if the individual cards for instant win combos in particular have some risk attached to drafting them. Many cards in the Splinter Twin combo package are good cards on their own and are therefore a bit too safe to draft early. If the combo comes together, it's very good for you, but if it doesn't, the cards are still useful. The next factor that affects which combos you might include is the option to add redundancies and packages. Since Cube is a singleton format, combos that need 2 or more specific cards to work can be hard to assemble. But some combos come in redundant packages where cards can just take each other's place. The Kiki-Jiki Splinter Twin combo package is a great example of a group of combos with many redundant pieces. When a cube contains the full package, then as a drafter you have a lot of options to assemble one of these game-winning combos. The Illusions Donate Cat Pact package is a nice example of 2 combos with redundant pieces, where I feel the redundancies are essential for the combo to even be considered for inclusion in a cube. Here you use one of the donate effects to give one of the enchantments to your opponent to either make them lose 20 life when they can't afford Illusion's upkeep anymore, or to just lose the game on the spot from Demonic Pact's final option. Because the separate pieces are all mediocre to actively bad, having only one of the combos from the package available in a cube would make little sense to me. With the added redundancy, however, this package is one that I've personally enjoyed having around. Another good example of a package with redundant pieces is this -1/-1 counter package. The main combo here is a sacrifice outlet, a creature with persist and an enters the battlefield ability, and something that prevents -1/-1 counters to be placed on the creature that comes back. Other combos include making infinite mana with Devoted Druid, making an infinitely large Quill Spike, or doing parts of the main Persist combo in a slightly more convoluted way. It's also very easy to add more redundant pieces to this package if necessary. Most pieces here are reasonable playables but not top tier. It's not very easy to assemble an infinite combo with them, but it is powerful when it happens, and I think that is a very good spot for combos to be in. After deciding which combos to add to your cube, you still need to create the right context for the combos to work. You want players to be able to assemble them, but maybe not too often or too easily, and you want opponents to have access to the necessary interaction to beat them. There are 3 different tools that you can use to make your cube combo ready: tutors, answers, and cube size. Tutors don't help players draft the pieces of a combo, but they will help to find those pieces once they are in someone's deck. The more combos in the cube, the better tutors become. Black's unconditional tutors are of course the most flexible, but the more conditional ones in other colors can also easily do the job as well. Imagine a deck with the Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek combo. This is an often game-winning combination, but the pieces themselves aren't great and there are no redundant parts. Tutor effects are pretty much essential to make this combo relevant. And besides the unconditional tutors, white and blue both have plenty of cards that can find an artifact or equipment. To prevent combos from becoming problematic or oppressive, it's important to have plenty of effective answers. Things that make answers effective are flexibility. Black discard spells and blue counter magic are great catch-all answers to keep combos in check. Of course, these are also a double-edged sword because they can help to protect the combos. Then main deck playability, having answers that can be played main deck is important because cards that are only good as sideboard cards are usually not highly picked and therefore easily end up with a player that is not even playing that color. Low mana cost is also important. Cheap answers are key in letting the opposing player develop their game without having to keep mana up all the time to stop a game-winning combo. Proactive answers are even better. These are cards that stop a combo and that can be played before the combo comes down. Again, this allows the opposing player to just play their normal game without having to keep mana available in fear of losing to a combo. The final tool that you have to make for a healthy cube environment is the cube size. If you draft all the packs in a cube, like when you draft a 360 card cube with 8 players, then players can always be certain that all combo pieces will be opened, and that will impact their pick order. When a cube is larger and there are undrafted packs, this adds a little bit of risk in picking combo pieces, and it makes it so that not every combo will always come together in every session. I personally prefer the latter situation, but you can play around with cube size to fine-tune the likelihood of comboing off, depending on your desired outcome. The card Lore Seeker can also play a role in this, because it lets players open more packs, which increases the combo potential in larger cubes. This is also, by the way, a card that you should feel free to add multiples of in any cube, because it's just exciting to open more packs. Apart from these 3 tools, here are a few tips and tricks to make combos work better in your cube. First, choose only combos that fit the power level of your cube. The more powerful the other available strategies are, the more powerful your combos can be. Also, don't overdo it. Having too many combos just leads to bad drafts. If everyone thinks that combos are the only way to win, then everyone will jump on any combo piece and that results in nobody getting anything. Combos can also become stale, so feel free to rotate them in and out at will. Combos are usually pretty self-contained, so taking them out or plugging them in is often easy enough. Just make sure that answers are still aligned with the combos present. Then don't hint at combos that are not there. If you have a Splinter Twin in your cube, players will assume that Pessamite and friends are there as well. Even if you think that Kiki-Jiki might be a nice card just on its own, seeing it will send a signal to the players and you should try not to share fake news. You can also tell people which combos exist. Especially for less experienced players, it's nice to know beforehand which combos are present in the cube. This way they can decide to try and draft them, or at least to draft with them in mind and not be surprised when they see them. Well, that is all for now. To summarize, if you're thinking about combos in cube, then the first step is to make sure that your playgroup will appreciate them. If that is the case, choose which combos are fun to include, and find a good balance of tutors and answers. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any opinions on or questions about combos in Cube, or if you want to share combos that you especially like or dislike, or have any advice on how to better implement combos in a cube, feel free to leave a comment. Of course, liking and subscribing is great. In that way you get notified when a new video goes up and other people will find this channel more easily. Thanks again and see you next time.